testing Aurelia Vidmar, Adelaide United, AFC Champions League.
It's a first. Who knows if it's ever going to be matched.
It's the dawn of a new era in challenging new territories.
It's football, it's Asia, and I'm loving it, Harps.
From low expectations
Our goal is to qualify for the second round.
to big achievements, all told
Run, run, run.
by those who were there.
Some guy came up and said, give us all your passports.
The controversies,
So you got to question what Adelaide United's priorities.
I don't care what people say about the priorities.
the journeys
Long trip, oh my God.
and the glories.
Probably one of my best games I played for the club.
Up like a salmon, a spawning salmon.
It's the remarkable tale of a history-making campaign.
In terms of club football, probably as good as the Socceroos getting into the World Cup.
(2008). Remember then? It was a year of firsts, really. A new tennis superstar shot to attention before our very eyes.
For the first time, Novak Djokovic is a Grand Slam champion.
Finally, a PM said a word that was a long time coming.
As Prime Minister of Australia, I am sorry. On behalf of the Government of Australia, I am sorry.
And the nation got its first ever female Governor-General.
Australians, you have entrusted a great deal to me. I will honour your trust wholeheartedly.
What about football? Well, Adelaide United announced themselves and Australia on a new frontier, Asian club football. Having qualified for a second Asian Champions League campaign by finishing second in the A-League, the Reds were drawn in Group E and pitted against Korean champions Pohang Steelers, Chinese powerhouse Changchun Yatai and Binh Duong, the reigning kings of Vietnam. The group winner would be the only team to qualify for the knockout phase.
Aurelia Vidmar, a night after the draw's been completed, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the draw. I think it's quite familiar to us. The same countries that we visited this year will be going again next, so I'm pretty happy with that. Well, I definitely knew that after our first campaign, a year or so earlier, that we weren't far away, so I knew that we'd do quite well. Nothing was foreign to us anymore, and the first year we went into the Asian Champions League, everything was a little bit foreign to us.
The opening game looked set to be the toughest. A trip to Korea just 6 weeks after the domestic campaign had come to a close, with Pohang Steelers the opponents in testing conditions.
I think back in Adelaide it's about 38, 39 degrees every day, and I'll play in this any day over extreme heat like that.
Very cold. I've got sensitive hands, bro.
Welcome to the Steelyard, where the champions of South Korea host Adelaide United. Robbie Slater joins me for commentary, and Robbie, a tough ask this one for Adelaide.
It is experts saying that probably Pohang Steelers may be the favourites in this group.
This time it's going to be the in-swinging corner from Lucas Pantelis. Good height on the delivery as well. Free header, the opening goal. Dream start for Adelaide United, and it's Robbie Cornthwaite.
I can't even remember the goal, but I remember his goal celebration with his hand over his eyes.
Superhero goggles, I can't do it. My arms aren't flexible enough. But yeah, I do remember the celebration and thinking, right, we're 1-0 up, but we've got 87 minutes to go. So how are we going to do this?
Under intense pressure after taking the lead, a drop of good fortune arrived at exactly the right time.
Jason Spagnuolo will tell you it was a delicate touch. I'd say it was a heavy touch.
I am surprised that I don't actually see that on more highlight reels in top 10 goals of world football.
Spagnuolo chance, Chite, the sucker punch. It came out of absolutely nothing.
Great control on Spags, right into the path of Bruce.
Probably trying to control that Spagnuolo.
Robbie's got it on point. Try to control it.
Well, it's Adelaide United's finest moment. A stunning result here at the Steelyard. An amazing scoreline. Adelaide United 2, Pohang Steelers 0.
A draw with Chinese champions Changchun Yatai followed on match day 2 before the Reds went into uncertain waters and a trip to Vietnam to face Binh Duong.
prior to going to these games, we sent our football operations manager, Ryan Paramisco, and we had a bit of a reconnaissance mission, and we knew that the pitch was a disaster, very thick grass.
Oh my God. Yeah. To be honest, remind me my time back in Brazil when I was 10 years old. The grass was like that.
And we also knew that the change rooms were an absolute diabolical mess and you couldn't really shower there. So we were already prepared. But obviously when you get there, it's something different as well. And so we got there 90 minutes prior to the game. We started to walk on the pitch and lo and behold, there's a frog on the pitch. I said, well, this is going to be good.
Alligates with a free kick, floats it in towards the penalty spot, missed by the keeper, open chance surely, and Adelaide United take the lead, and it's Diego, the Brazilian, who's forced the ball home. Dodd has now isolated the defender, Travis Dodd. Turns one way and the other. Dodd tries to square it up for Spaniolo. Alligates! And that is the insurance that Adelaide United have been looking for. It's a collector's item, a header from Richie Alligates.
It was an extremely difficult game, extremely difficult conditions, but what was most important is that we got the 3 points, and that's what we wanted from tonight's game.
You've seen them play on a DVD. Are they as good as... the lights are out, ladies and gentlemen. OK.
It's a great 3 points. So, well done to Adelaide. They've positioned themselves beautifully, but they need to finish off the job, as Aurelio said.
Great thing by Nick the Birds. That's why he's so admired. It's a beautiful ball through. Lucas Pantelis, 1-on-1 with the keeper. Pantelis gives Adelaide the goal they need.
So yeah, playing up front at this stage. I think I'd anticipated an early cross from Burnsy, but he'd gone in an absolute mazy, and he'd actually just teed it up to me perfectly. I think I'd missed. What is that celebration? I actually have no clue about that.
Lovely first touch again. Here is Burns, buried down a goal, checks back on the right boots, gets it across to Dodds. That'll do it. 2 for Travis Dodds.
What are you doing? Yeah, they're not exactly world-class goals, are they? But there's a lot of things wrong with that. The celebration, the hairstyle there. That might have been the hair straightening days even.
And it's all over, and Adelaide United records another victory.
On the same evening, a 2-2 draw between Pohang Steelers and Chanchang Yatai eliminated the Koreans ahead of their trip to South Australia on match day 5. It meant Adelaide topped the group with 2 games remaining and kept destiny firmly in their own hands.
Well, I'll tell you what, when they come to write the history of Adelaide United Football Club, I doubt whether this game, in terms of quality, will rate so much of a mention. But in terms of importance, it was a vital win for Adelaide United. They're now on the brink of qualifying for the AFC Champions League quarter-finals.
Diego! What about that?
Any chance that Nathan Burns perhaps drifted off into an offside position for that goal and took the goalkeeper's line of sight?
Well, possible, but who cares? They're allowed to be patriotic when it's the Asian Champions League.
So it all boiled down to this. May 22, 2008, Chanchang, China, and the whole of South Australia braced itself for a nervy 90 minutes with just a point required for qualification.
You play to win or you play to draw?
I think we just got to play exactly the same way that we've stepped out to do in this whole competition, and I think I'll probably feel a bit more comfortable going there knowing that we only need a draw.
When we go away, the coffee's notoriously bad, so I remember we tried to take away a little coffee maker, Italian coffee maker, because I room with Ange Costanzo. It was one that you had to put on the stove to heat it up, and we've taken it down to breakfast one morning to give to the staff to make for us. They're coming back saying it's not working. We've gone in there and they've put it on a frying pan. They've put the kettle on a frying pan and turned the gas on. So, that's the kind of stuff we were dealing with.
Yeah, China was a nightmare. A lot of the players always liked a chicken breast or 2 before a pre-match. When we got there at the lunchroom and we saw that there was this whole chicken stuck in about 2 foot of oil, it wasn't ideal. Most of the boys were on Nutella sandwiches, Vegemite sandwiches. But that's what I loved about that group, because for all those hassles that they had, they were able to adapt. And as a coach, you couldn't want anything more.
Hello again and welcome to the AFC Champions League here on Fox Sports, where tonight Adelaide United looking to be history makers for Australia by becoming the first club to progress from the group into the knockout phase of the region's top club competition.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure that we kept them quiet for the first 20 minutes. That was part of the plan as well. And after 3 minutes, we're already under the pump.
Problems here for Adelaide, 3 against 3. It slipped through. Galekovic comes and doesn't get there. Elegance to the rescue.
Oh, it's really a Vidmar with that whistle you were talking about, Simon. He's visibly ageing by the minute.
When you're coming down to the last few minutes, you know, cross your fingers.
Crowd try and urge the home team on for one last effort. Into the box, out comes Galekovic. Good header back towards goal, and it's off the line by Sasha Oganovsky.
I just got, the first time I watched, I had goosebumps, you know, knowing 94 minutes into the game, and that could have been what knocked us out. So, yeah, it's a great effort.
And that's it. The referee blows the whistle. Adelaide can celebrate, South Australia can now celebrate, and for the first time it will be the Australian flag that will join Asia's elite when that quarter-final draw is made on Saturday.
History was made then. The champions of 3 countries had been dispatched, but another lie in wait in the quarter-finals. Kashima Antlers from Japan.
It's a new frontier for Adelaide United, the first Australian club to make it through to the knockout stage of the AFC Champions League. Kashima Stadium is the venue for tonight's first leg of the quarter-final. The home team certainly are hot favourites to progress.
That's one of the reasons I came to Australia, to Adelaide United, because I was playing in Holland, was to play Champions League. I played UEFA Cup back in Europe, but Champions League, it's higher than that, in my opinion.
They come again. Work opening for Adelaide United. Agostino, goal, Adelaide United. What a start. And it's Travis Dodd who again has risen to the occasion.
A decent effort, I guess, away from home for the boys. Unfortunately, we conceded the goal with Robbie Cornthwaite, the own goal.
It was like came out of nothing. There was a cross, which I could remember, low, and then the ball came between his long legs and got in. Eugene could do nothing, was so quick.
Those things happen, and the conditions, once again, on the park, really slippery, and greasy surface, so sometimes it was a little bit hard to control the ball.
Possibly. I think whenever an own goal scored, the pitch is always greasy, isn't it?
It's football, it's Asia, and I'm loving it, Harps. I said here last week that it was the game I was looking forward to. It didn't disappoint. The whole experience of being in Asia and being part of it is just fabulous. I mean, you know, it wasn't that long ago in the old days when you guys were playing in the NSL. This was just such a pipe dream, and now it's a reality, and we're just enjoying the whole experience.
All right, well, before and after the Kashima game, Adelaide have been disappointing, lost against Melbourne, lost against Sydney, which prompted Sydney boss John Kosmina to question the priorities of Adelaide United.
The thing is, A-League's about having a squad of players, and all of the people in that squad have got to be able to stand up. So you've got to question what Adelaide United's priority is, the A-League or the ACL.
I don't care what people say about the priorities. I think what we've done is been very smart. I wouldn't change this for the world. I'd rather have this again next year. You know what? Everyone's going to have an opinion, what they feel and what they think, and that's absolutely fine. I reckon he probably had a few issues at Sydney anyway, so he had a bit on his plate as well.
This is what it's all about. You know, it is a great buzz around town. We've had a lot of people tap us up for tickets this afternoon. We haven't got any. That's how desperate some people are. It is officially their first ever sellout, and it doesn't get much bigger than this.
The atmosphere at High Marsh that night was unbelievable. That was the sort of nights that everyone sort of dreams of.
for me playing against Kashima, you know, it's a big Japanese club. And I can say that game I remember exactly. It's probably one of my best games I played for the club.
Well, he's onside. Cassio flagged down. Dodd free in the middle. Cassio squares it up. Travis Dodd has missed it. He's flossed it.
You take the eye off the ball for a split second and it ends up through your legs instead of on your boot. So, yeah, I was pretty gutted.
Cassio now whips in a dangerous ball. Adelaide take the leg. Robbie Cornflakes. Unfinished business. He's done it.
I had a bit of time actually to think about it. I thought I better not miss this or Viddy's going to kill me. So luckily enough, the keeper made a bit of an error and went in the back of the net. So luckily for me.
And there's the whistle. Adelaide United have climbed the mountain and it looks pretty good on the other side. The Reds are through to the last four of the AFC Champions League. It's history. It's amazing. It's unbelievable.
To me, that was the greatest achievement by an Australian club side on the international stage, and I include both South Melbourne and Sydney FC making the Club World Championships in that. So, fantastic achievement, great crowd, great result.
I agree. I think it's without doubt the greatest achievement by a club side in our history. We know we've had a troubled history, Harps, but certainly this is one great page in the book.
Is there a sense among the group that you're representing a lot more than your club and the City of Adelaide?
Yeah, we're representing the country, absolutely. It's a first. Who knows if it's ever going to be matched.
Against all the odds, Adelaide had made the semi-finals, where they'd meet Uzbekistan billionaires Bunyadkor. Their star player, Rivaldo. Their coach, Zico. Both Brazilian legends. Naturally, they were huge favourites. The gulf in wealth and quality wasn't lost on Aurelio Vidmar.
Look, we just can't compete. We can't compete financially. Have a look at the amount of players that they got. They're 30 players. Their second 11 could go in and still do a good job.
In a way, he was right. It is hard to compete. They had Rivaldo at the time, reportedly earning $6 million a year, and that's 3 times the salary cap in the A-League at the time. They had half the Uzbek national team in the side, and just to top that off, before the home leg, they call the club Adelaide and ask them where they're going to park their private jet, for when they come over. So, that type of thing is just, unheard of for us.
They get a chartered flight. We're struggling to get Qantas to get out of the terminal.
The tie was being shown live in Brazil to see how their old heroes Rivaldo and Zico were getting on. But to Cassio, Zico was just a familiar face. He couldn't wait to show up.
I'm very good, close friends to his three sons, so we grew up together. So I know him, of course, very well. I remember telling him here before the game, we're going to smash you, and he laughed.
Cassio looking for Cristiano. Now Diego, there's the goal I've been waiting for. Diego puts the Reds in front.
Handball?
No.
Probably. But who cares? Again, we had a good left side with me, Jambo, Diego Walsh, such a good player. He backheeled to me, and and across, Travis jumped that high, like even higher than me.
And then Fabian Barbiero was there just to put away all the hard work that I'd done for him. And I'd like to thank Andy Harper for coining the term.
Up like a salmon, a spawning salmon.
Up like a spawning salmon. Some great YouTube clips on that.
And I thought at that stage, that was great, 2-0, that's a good result. If we can hang on for 2-0, and then I think the icing on the cake was we got the penalty.
It was my last sprint, to be honest. I saw Lucas getting the ball in the middle, and I just sprint. I said, I'll get this goal. I'll get my goal now.
Because I felt so good and never kicked penalty before. But in that game, I was so confident as I took the ball, so I take it.
It's a night to remember for Cristiano. Unforgettable scenes at Hindmarsh Stadium.
I knew then that third goal was going to be our saviour.
As I said, probably one of the biggest wins. I've been involved in football, not only in Australia.
What is this rate in Australian, sporting history?
Well, in terms of club football, probably as good as the Socceroos getting into the World Cup.
With a 3-goal lead, next hurdle for Adelaide was a 34-hour flight to the Uzbek capital Tashkent, or the journey from hell.
Long trip, oh my God.
It was bad. It was probably one of the worst trips.
I think we went to Singapore, then to India, and then from India to Uzbekistan. In the final leg, from India to Uzbekistan, we had business class. It was probably one of the most difficult things, having to do all of this travel, in economy class. And it's great to think that we can go business class, but it was a massive burden, on the clubs financially to be able to provide that for us. So next thing you know, you're arriving at Tashkent airport at 2 o'clock in the morning, with everything shut, and people having to make phone calls to come and open customs for us.
Actually, we were in the customs there for quite a while, actually, trying to get visas to go in. So when we got there, some guy came up and said, "Give us all your passports," and like idiots, he had 25 passports in his hand and he disappeared for about an hour.
At that stage of the game, a little bit of panic is setting in. You're thinking, he's just walked off with God knows how much money and 25 passports.
And we were sitting there saying, what the hell's going on? So $2,000 later, we got our visas and then we went.
With the flight conquered, minds were refocused to the game, and more pressingly, the race against time for injured goalkeeper Eugene Galekovic.
Yeah, I remember doing my quad, and I just remember Peter Kitty, our physio, putting a 20% piece on that injury and taping it up, and I didn't know for what reason, but he just said it'd help me. So it wasn't 100%. Did I feel it? I probably did. Did I make it worse? Or maybe, but it's one of those games where it was a packed stadium. I still remember, everyone in the crowd had a piece of paper with 4-0 and holding it up, and doubts do go in your mind, even though you're 3-0 up.
Here's a chance, and the shot has found the bottom of the net. Could have G finally break through?
Despite intense late pressure, Vidmar's men remained resolute and held on. A win on aggregate. They'd made the final.
Hard to believe, yeah, but they thoroughly deserve it because the amount of work that they've done throughout the group stage and also the quarterfinals, and this 2 legs was tremendous.
The final would be over 2 legs, home and away. The task, Godzilla-like. Gamba Osaka, the Japanese giants owned by Panasonic, big budget, big players with Japanese legends in their midst. So take all that into account and add the fact little old Adelaide still had a problem with their star goalkeeper, who was sure to be busy.
At the time we were all aware that he was struggling. I remember being over training the day before the game and practicing some tactics and that kind of stuff, and whenever Huge had to try and knock a long ball, he was struggling.
I didn't have, the training I'd probably like to leading up to the Gamba game, but it's a game that, you're going to play unless the coach says you're not fit enough to play.
We knew we were up against it, coming against a team like Gamba Osaka, who were fantastic, and the players that they had, Endo at the time, I think was playing, some of his best football. So we knew it was going to be difficult.
I think probably 25-30 minutes. Everything was going quite well, not too much threat. Then a square ball, or a couple of poor passes, a couple of poor square passes, got cut out, and they punished us.
The shot takes a deflection, and Gamba take a lead.
Normally I don't play much square passes, and this one I did. Yeah, the guy just kept an eye on him, he cut it off, played straight ball to end on the left, and then he took a shot with the left foot. It was a pretty good shot, to be honest, and went in.
Yasuhito Endo and Gamba Osaka extend the lead.
In the back of my mind, and I never said that to the players, I thought, well, if we get out of here 2-0, then I'll still be happy with that.
Endo's corner, played to the edge of the box. Yasuda with the volley. What a goal from Yasuda!
We completely outplayed that game. Gamba, as far as I remember, Gamba just outplayed us. They did everything they deserved. To be honest, I don't remember too many things from us in the final.
Oh, look, the scoreline is pretty bad for us, and you're right, it was 2 square balls across the middle of the park that cost us. there was still a massive belief within the group, myself, the coaching staff, everyone around the club and the fans that we could turn it around and make a good fight of it when we got back to Hindmarsh, and I still believe that until about 4 minutes into the game.
And the shot was on target. Birigitti's spilled it. Lucas empty net. Gavo Saka has scored.
Look, we lost the game. We lost over the 2 legs, but we had a good crack at it in the final, especially here at Hindmarsh. Unfortunately, we came up against a very, very good side, and they've been together for a number of years with their coach who'd been there for 10 years, so they thoroughly deserved it over the 2 legs.
Gamba Osaka are the new champions of Asia.
Now, as the inaugural Adelaide United captain, do you sort of pinch yourself a little bit knowing where Adelaide United have come in only 3 or 4, maybe 5 years of football?
Probably one day you'll sit back and really reflect. I really haven't had the time to do that.
It's a night to remember for Cristiano.
That was the greatest moment one of the greatest moments in my career. Sometimes I want to go back just to have that feeling again.
Adelaide United have climbed the mountain and it looks pretty good on the other side.
I just want to cry. I mean, I show now my boys and I say, look, that was a wonderful moment.
We had everything so close to win, and we didn't. But I was proud of what we done. I think we all proud of what we achieved. The only thing I regret is not to have the trophy in our hands.
It's one of those things where you appreciate the longer time goes, you appreciate how well we as a club did in that campaign, and emphasises the fact that we were outstanding in that period of football.
To me, that was the greatest achievement by an Australian club side on the international stage, and I include both South Melbourne and Sydney FC making the Club World Champions in that.
I wouldn't change this for the world. I'd rather have this again next year. We had a great time throughout it. It qualified us for the Club World Cup, which was another massive step for the club. Another major tournament that we were able to participate in. So they were just great memories.
Any more questions, guys? Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you. Cheers. Thanks. Thanks, mate.
This has been a production of Fox Sports.